World, from whichever time zone you're catching me from. My name is MD90 and welcome to my YouTube channel. If you're not subscribed to the channel, make sure you hit that subscribe button, turn on the bell notification to all so that you do not miss any upload that comes up on the channel. And the easiest way for you to navigate the channel, because we put up a lot of content, is head to the playlist and you'll find all various things that we're doing here curated for you based on your interests. So we've got the Kutka podcast, we've got the Tishimi production. These are movies, actually, short movies that you can find on that playlist. And news and trends. We do a lot. We do vlogs. We do a lot on this channel. So the easiest way for so that you don't lose yourself, you find a don't. Well, more developments are coming from the issue of Edgar Chagwa Lungu's bio and the people that had spoken during the build-up to this standoff between government and the Lungu family. As you may be aware, there's been news that is both and confirmed from both sides, where to say the Lungu family and the government are having talks outside court to have an outside court settlement as we wait for the Constitutional Court of South Africa to make a judgment on how this court case proceeds. Seems like there are talks that are happening. And since then, there's been instruction from within the Patriotic Front where they're saying no official is supposed to make any statement on behalf of the Lungu family. It's only Makebi Zulu, who's the official family spokesperson, who's entitled to give those statements. What is on the government side also, they've also communicated to say no person from within the patriotic, within the ruling party, UPND, and within the government is expected to make any statements on this funeral aside from the Secretary to the Cabinet, Mr. Patrick Chagwa, or his office. So that's the two structures that seem to have come out of that. And since then, some apologies have been coming through. So just a couple of hours ago, Larry Mweta issued an apology towards the Lungu family. So as you may be aware, Larry is a UPND supporter. I think he's based in either the United States or the UK, one of the two places, but he's Zambian based in diaspora. So he issued an apology towards the Lungu family over his statements, and this is what he had to say just a couple of hours ago. So Larry Mweta says, public apology to the Lungu family, to the esteemed family of His Excellency, former President of Edgar Chagwa Lungu. I write with a heavy heart and deep regret to sincerely apologize for the recent comments and posts made during your period of mourning. In particular, I wish to extend my heartfelt apology for referring to the Lungu family as bitter, it ends in quote. This was a careless and insensitive and a hateful remark made at a time when you deserved only compassion, dignity, and respect. I further extend my deepest apology to all other for all other posts I made during the bereavement period, which may have caused pain, distress, and offense to you as a family. I recognize that such remarks were inappropriate, especially at a time of solemn and reflection and grief. Additionally, I wish to unreservedly apologize to the Secretary to the Cabinet. I acknowledge that the communication on the matters surrounding the funeral of the late President Edgar Lungu was reserved strictly for Cabinet. And it was wrong for me to make any commentary or remarks on the matter. I deeply regret overstepping boundaries and showing disregard for the guidance of that only the Cabinet should speak on such sensitive national issues. I hereby sincerely retract my words and recognize the hate they may have caused. Please accept accept this as a genuine expression of remorse, humility, and respect for the memory of the late president and for the dignity of your family. I once again offer my deepest and most heartfelt apology to the Lungu family and the Secretary to the Cabinet. Yours sincerely, Dr. Larry Mweta. So that's an apology coming from Larry Mweta towards the Lungu family over the statements that he had made with regard to this whole bio process that's going on. So it seems like the backtalk conversation is having effect. But on the other hand, something happened just a couple of hours ago. So A member of parliament was said they do not know him. So we do not know him. Kito residents reject Bu Kwacha, a member of parliament, as Aka in the HM watches. That's in the mass newspaper. So the president was on the Cobber Belt, and this happened. Let me just play the video so you be the judge of what happened. As Cobber Belt minister was introducing some members of parliament as part of the entourage of the president. Then this happened, and that's where people are having the conversation to say, oh, some of these members of parliament are not going back to parliament. Stand by.
Okay, now for everybody, I already said you have me money win. Okay, it's important for the wish about to Tualanda Fetch Sarava MP. Away MP when Wamlenga. Ravadia. The more ways you are. Okay, now for everybody, I already said you have me money win.
So it's that embarrassment that people are having a conversation over to say, you can tell. So that's a member of parliament that the residents say they simply do not know. And imagine that happening in front of the sitting president, President Naka in HM, and the Secretary General of the United Party for National Development Mr. Imenda. That only goes to show his popularity is not reflecting on the ground. So you can even see that man, the likelihood of him being adopted as a member of parliament going into 2026, I do not see that happening. That was a very bad way to be rejected by the people. So I honestly don't see him being adopted within the UPND with such a reaction. The residents are simply say, we don't know you. That goes to show he's not on the ground, and pretty much his effect is not being felt. You could even see the reaction from the president. He was like, oh, even the Secretary General, even the Minister of Transport there, Tayari, was also like, yo, that's embarrassing. And obviously, the memes have been created about him. Then the member of parliament that was rejected. And then Smart Ego say, if I send you this, just know, Nakukana, simply saying, hey, the residents have refused. Yo, this guy is not either doing his job or simply not felt on the ground, whatever he's doing. So that was what happened. I know that some of the more memes that have come from that after the rejection of Kwacha, member of parliament, Charles Ebo Mulenga. The MC says that you are next to be introduced. So there, Mano Mamba making a joke, simply saying that, hey, after people found out how the residents had reacted to that member of parliament, everyone was scared to be introduced next. That, yo, if I get the same reaction, what happens next? And obviously shares a meme of Tayari there sitting next to, is it Mines Minister there? So that's what happened on the Cobber Belt. But the conversation with regard to Maria Zlomes has taken a new twist. As you may remember, some young man was alleged to have been killed based off the beatings that he had allegedly received at a farm. There's a video that's circulated. And people are like, yo, how come you arrest employees who are alleged to have been working under instruction, then you leave out the boss? It caused a public outcry. People are simply saying, yo, that didn't make any sense. It seems like you're protecting a best of privilege. And that conversation did end. It kept on getting hotter, and eventually something has happened within that regard. And Laura Meat also weighed in, say it's good that Maria Zlomes has been arrested. Not in years since. It's a sad affair all around. I was thinking how so many low-level workers in spaces like farms end up in jail because they obeyed an unlawful instruction which they couldn't quite refuse. So she's simply pointing out the point to say, this situation where our employees were arrested and they leave the boss out, that is common in these farms where the person that has instructed you, yes, it's illegal, but you are effectively following the instruction because you want to protect your own job. Most of them end up in jail for such situations, but the boss was left out. So finally, people are saying, finally, it's good that she's been arrested herself. That's Laura Miti weighing in there on the issue. No, the pressure was too much on this. There was no way that she was going to stay out here. They tried to spin the story either way. It didn't make any sense. Even people that support the UPND effectively were like, yo, guys, this is not adding up. I'll show you more reactions from both sides of the aisle. This is one story where both the UPND and the PAF and everybody was like, yo, this story is not adding up. It's not making sense. On what grounds can you arrest the employees? Then you leave the boss, and it's alleged to say she was even behind the camera. You hear her voice in that video. I couldn't even watch the video for more than 3 seconds. It was I couldn't bring myself to watch that video. It was a bad video, pretty much. And people are simply saying, I hope true justice will prevail. Now they're saying, finally, okay, she's arrested. Now let justice take its course as they head to court. I am curious to hear why they killed him, why they took whatever beef they had as far as they did. Very unfortunate people reacting to that issue. And so that's what's going on with Maria's situation. And then Chief Etali also said more voices on the arrest of Maria Zlomes. She had the powers to stop the murder. So as you may be aware, Mashaka Akashambato, this is the UPND supporter based in the United States of America. And he also weighed in. If you've seen him defend the UPND and the President Hakainde Hichilema, he's a very strong UPND supporter. But on this issue, he was also like, yo, this story does not add up. And this is what he had to say. Maria Zlomes is the owner and operator of the farm on which Simfukwe was beaten, tortured, and later died from the injuries he had. She had the powers to stop it. So he's simply saying she had the powers. All the workers would have listened to her command to stop beating the young man and put him in a car and take him to the nearest police station. He says, Maria must be arrested at the very minimum on aiding and abetting in the commissioning of a crime. And he quotes a penal code, simply saying, this is the pressure that was coming out. So it was pressure from within the UPND and pressure from the opposition, pressure from the NGO. And people are simply saying, yo, that story is not adding up. Those employees were simply working on her instruction. It was her farm. She had the authority to simply say, stop beating him, take him to police, and then let the law take its course. Not when the young man is beaten to almost death and then just simply taken to the police and then he dies because of the postmortem and review to say he had died because of the injuries on the brain, the trauma that he had received on the head. So simply saying, yo, this was some of the pressure that led to this, really. The people are like, yo, it's not adding up. Come on, do something about it. Chief Etali doubled down. While we appreciate the news that Maria Zlomes has been arrested and detained, the news appears to be more of a public relations stunt by the police. Chief Etali alleges to say, at this stage now, out of the public pressure that came in, now that you've decided to arrest her, he says it's looking like a PR stunt. All this would have been avoided if she was arrested earlier on. Yes, offer all the legal system that she needs to defend herself in court, but leaving her out the way she was left out earlier on, that's where the people were like, yo, there's something is going on here, and it didn't sit well with the Zambian citizens. And they united in pressure, and finally she's been arrested, and that's where they're coming through. And now the pressure is going to her mother. The mother has nothing to do with it. Just for the fact that she's a chairperson of the Electoral Commission of Zambia. Now you could see the opposition pushing the agenda, trying to say no. It's because she comes from a privileged family and she's close to the UPND, and that's why she wasn't arrested in the first place. And that's a narrative being pushed by the opposition. She should have just been arrested earlier on. This thing would have been quelled faster. And then Chief Etali doubles down because they said, how can we trust Mamangala Zlomes? Mamangala Zlomes, that's the mother to Maria. Mamangala Zlomes to run a free and fair elections based on what is shown in the case of our own daughter Maria Zlomes there. And then he says, oh yeah, So now how can you even trust the mother in this case to be at the helm of the ECZ if they could not be impartial with treating her daughter just like any other employee that was arrested earlier on? That's Chief Etehari's opinion there. He doubles down on that. And the police put up a statement that was very Amonga, simply saying, yes, a follow-up on the reports of the murder in Chagwa Central. Obviously, police statement there. Police wish to provide an update regarding to the murder case that occurred on 17th August 2025, in which Mr. Enoch Sumfukwe died at Chagwa General Hospital around 01 a.m. hours, obviously, and then he listed people that have been arrested, obviously. Amongst people that they listed there, only Maria was missing at this point. Everyone else, it was communicated when they were arrested. So simply an update coming from police there. Now that Maria Gomez has been arrested, we will shift our attention to the charges and trial. This is murder. I will explain. So Chief Etehari is going in and saying it's not even manslaughter here. He passed his own verdict there. The postmortem results, it shows there was plain. Obviously, we know the postmortem results, but anyway, at this point, let the courts take its course, whether it's going to be whatever it's going to be. But according to Chief Edgar, he says it's straight up murder. It's not even manslaughter or anything of that nature. That's in his view. And then the deliberation there says we have rejected their presidential candidate from N province. That's CF. Hence the beef from Mohabi and the opposition parties. Is saying is working with. It's according to infighting within the opposition there. Some fracas. You can see Hari Kalaba there. He was meeting some priests during that interaction, and more is coming from the opposition. Why Socialist Party has also responded. News Diggers says Socialist Party responds to Luvinda. Any alliance that collapses other parties isn't progressive. As you may be aware, given put down his foot should have been like a day ago, where he simply says, anyone that's coming in the Tonse Alliance is either you submit under the Patriotic Front or simply get out of here. As simple as that. He might have put it in a different line of words. You're simply saying the head of Tonse Alliance has to be from the Patriotic Front, has to be a Patriotic Front member to be president. And that's what the Socialist Party is responding to. This was inevitable. The fact is that even if PF had said, okay, fine, they're not going to pick the presidential candidate, they pick someone else, Fred Membe was not going to submit to any other candidate. They said they picked Hari Kalaba. Fred Membe would run as an individual candidate. Same thing, if they pick Fred Membe, Hari Kalaba was going to run as an individual candidate. This was inevitable. What Given Luwinda did was the right call. Let those that want to align with the Patriotic Front align. Those that want to go it alone, let them go it alone, and not want to ride off the clout and the audience that the Patriotic Front has. But then again, you don't want to submit. So it's good at this point. Let them go their separate ways and do their thing, and like trying to ride off each other's clout. The fact is that without the Patriotic Front, the opposition is just playing Chidunune or whatever they're doing. They are playing games because it's been shown in their by-elections. Any by-elections that these oppositions have taken part, if the Patriotic Front has not endorsed and they go on ground, their performance is pathetic. It's below par. So then you want the party that is giving you the clout and the audience to be subservient to you based on what fact? Come on, guys, let's get serious. So at this point, this was inevitable. This was a big elephant in the room that wasn't addressed. Finally, they decided to address it. Let each one for himself and God for us all. Let Hari Kalaba run on his own, Socialist Party run on their own. Let the PF run on their own. And we'll see how that plays out. That only works to the advantage of the UPND, obviously. And that's where the confidence is coming from the UPND, simply saying no one is able to dislodge the UPND from government because the opposition is not united and none of them is willing to work under any other person. But the only person that has the clout in reality is the Patriotic Front. So let's keep it moving. Daily Mail has there, God preserved me. God preserved me for Zambians. I don't know where that statement is coming from. They haven't attributed, Hakainde Hichilema urges United Party for National Development members not to complain, but thank God. So he's simply saying the president was preserved in opposition where he was fighting to become president and so that he can serve the nation effectively. He was preserved by God. That's according to the Daily Mail there. What else is in the news? Let's see before we end the broadcast. 17 million injected in ZNS training. That's according to the Real Times. And yeah, pretty much I think that's the highlight of today's news. I'll keep you posted if anything comes up. And then farmers are complaining, tobacco farmers face ruin because the contract said they had gone in, their product hasn't been bought. So there's that complaint from a number of farmers. And that's the news, ladies and gentlemen.